right? All right, hey, your next comedian, John Grimes.
Yeah. All right. Thanks for the intro, Chris. Sometimes I get nervous when people laugh this much, so forgive me, guys. Hang on while I get used to this fucking deafening roar in here. Probably should bring Tuna back up here. No, just kidding. You don't want that. You saw all that man has to offer. He has, after that 5 minutes, it gets even further downhill. No, we're friends. Well, I say that to his face. We're not really friends, of course, but he's with me from Wilmington. We do shit down there. Me and Tuna and Paul, you'll see Paul, we're the who's who of Wilmington. That's why you guys look at us and you're like, who? Exactly, that's how we feel. I live under a bridge in Wilmington. I used to be rich. I was the fourth Beastie Boy, as you can tell by my outfit, and they kicked me out. My rhymes were too strong. That was my first dream, was to be a rapper, actually. Not just a regular rapper, though. I was rapping for the Lord. That's right. I was a Christian rapper. What was my rap name? Young Haircut. That is real. That was my rap name. Young Haircut. Why? Because when I was little, I cut my own hair and the name stuck. My mom called me Haircut for my whole life. I added the young for street cred. It worked. Yeah, no one wanted to hear my Christian raps. So now I'm doing this so that I can get charismatic enough to start my own cult. I feel like that's a good calling for me. I'd be a pretty nice cult leader, I think. I wouldn't sleep with anyone's wife unless they were out of town. I'm a gentleman. We would harvest our own drugs. They would be organic, all of our fruits and vegetables. We'd have organic Xanax, organic heroin, organic meth for all of you Jacksonville friends. We'd have something for everybody, I guess is what I'm saying. But I got to get my message together first. I'm not really sure I can compete with like the famous cults, like Scientology, Mormon, all the other good ones. I forgot what they were called. Latter-day Saints. Any Mormons in the house? Didn't think so. So let's talk some shit. No, just kidding. Oh, man. Some Pennsylvania people, huh? This man, person, woman. Sorry, I can't see. It's bright up here. It's just as bright as it is loud, so you can see the sensory overload. So what's your problem? How'd you end up here?
He's from here. My husband lives here.
Okay.
I'm from Pennsylvania. He lives here.
Okay, cool. You grew up here. Okay. And what, you came here to hang out with him?
That's my husband.
Yes, that is good. And you, I guess I'm not asking the best question. You were already here and you came here from Pennsylvania.
No, I was in Pennsylvania. His sister moved there from here, and I met him.
Well, I'm glad.
He was visiting his sister, and he met me.
That's a nice little bonus. Do you like your sister?
I love his sister. She's my sister, actually.
Okay.
She's pretending to be a sister, but she's really my sister. But she's his sister. You got it?
Yes, ma'am. I got it. It's all locked in. Thank you for your feedback too, sir. It was very helpful. I know you didn't come here to get talked to by some parade of white guys that look barely different from each other, but we're making the best of it. Man, I was in the Army. Veterans Day week was this week. Thank you, all veterans and active people, if you're in here. That's very nice of you. Yes, I knew I could pander with the veteran shit, so we're going to go with that for a few minutes. I joined the Army because my brother did, and I wanted to do everything he did in life except for be good at the Army. That was the one thing I couldn't quite really master compared to him. I don't really have any cool stories. A lot of people, they have like get together with your buddies and stuff. I do have one story though that I remember from the military. So, when you're doing PT or whatever people call it, you're wearing those shorts that you don't really wear underwear with because they have that built-in like swimming trunk panty situation in there. And so when someone's like, I was in there in the old days. I don't know if it's still like that, but it was fun. So like when you're doing sit-ups, someone's holding your feet And a drill sergeant had to hold my feet, which was already scary enough. But she was one of the most beautiful humans I've ever laid eyes on in my life. So now I'm in this compromising position. I suck at the Army, and a drill sergeant is face to face with me. And I guess the only way to describe the next sequence of events is that a nut popped out and I puked. Yes, that is one of my best Army stories. I was exerting so hard in the sit-up action that boop, a little cherry fell off the sundae, I guess. And oh boy. And then, so then I'm looking at it, I look at her, I look at the nut, blah, up comes breakfast. So that was a memorable day. And that pretty much sums up my entire military career. I think it's a lot of stories like that. A lot of drinking, obviously. I learned how to go to work very hungover, which is a skill that has served me ever since I got out. And they sent me to anger management. That is the reaction you should have. What the fuck? How does the Army have anger management? For fuckers like me, that's how. I guess it made me too angry having testicle trauma and not having all day to play PlayStation, just like 16 hours a day. So they sent me to anger management, which is just, you hear a lot about that shit and therapy and BetterHelp.com and all that shit. And I hate to break it to anybody in here who's ever thought about doing that, but don't. It's fake. It's a complete waste of time. Like, I get paid to talk about myself up here. Usually people laugh. I know you guys are chill. You're having a contest to see who can be quietest in here. Like, let's play the silent game. Whoever doesn't talk first wins. But why would I want to go to a therapist and do this for free? Not only I don't get paid, I have to pay them, and they don't laugh either. So I guess it is kind of like being here, except you guys don't tell me that my parents sucked and I'm a stupid idiot that needs to cheer up. That is usually what therapy leads to with me. I'm like, thank you. I never thought about cheering up. That's thanks, doctor. I can see why you're a therapist and not a surgeon. Use the term doctor loosely. So then I started wondering what else is fake. And I started noticing a lot of shit in society that just didn't hit me right. Like, I see a lot of people here probably my age from the 90s, the 2000s, 9/11 era. Do you remember hydration growing up? No, you don't. Why? Because it's fucking fake. That's why. Nobody drank water. My mom was born in 1949. She died in 2000 something, I would know if I had a soul. And I never saw the woman drink a glass of water once. That means she went through like Eisenhower, Nixon, Kennedy, Reagan, Bush, Obama. Never had a fucking glass of water in her life. And she was fine. Other than having a kid come out of you that ends up me, she had a very healthy life. No water. Think about water. If you have to take a shit right now, what are you going to do it in? Water, exactly. There's people who would crawl on stumps to drink that shit. They're so thirsty, and we're just like, water, fuck it. Toilet, fake. Hydration. Give me a goddamn break. Here was hydration for every adult I ever met. Coffee, soda, whiskey, bed. That was hydration, not fucking toilet water. Liquor. When men were men and women were men, and we were all men, and we just drank manly shit. What about recycling? Anyone in here believe that fucking lie? That scam? Good, you shouldn't. That's fake as hell. Bottled water companies don't even really sell bottled water. The water is free. They're selling you plastic. And then they're like, recycle it so that we as assholes feel better about using one plastic bottle. Meanwhile, Taylor Swift's fucking private jet is idling right now somewhere, just burning so much fucking carbon and whatever, that even if we all recycled for like 1,000 years, it might offset her jet for like 12 seconds, 13 seconds, I'm not sure, but recycling's fake as shit. Next time you get a bottle of Evian, put it up to a mirror and see what it says. Naive. That's what you are if you buy bottled water. It's fake. I heard there were some parents in here clapping earlier, and I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about other parents. You guys are cool. I think I fell for shit like recycling and all that because when you have kids, you have to lie. You have to lie to their faces for many years until they figure out somehow that you're a liar and all their dreams are crushed. And then they go to middle school and it's not your problem anymore. So those instrumental lying years, my mom, I think she didn't know I was like a sensitive little artistic boy, not autistic, but close. And she laid the shit on me too young. Like, there's a guy in the sky and he's watching everything you do. And if you do anything bad, hell, that Snickers bar you stole from the grocery store, put in your underwear and it melted and looked like poop, hell. All my best days, all the favorite things I wanted to do were going to send me to hell. It's like, okay, Mom, praise God and everything, but do I need this burden when I'm 8? Like, I'm already a fucking anxious 8-year-old kid. Like, I can barely make it to 2nd grade, and you're like, hell, hell, hell. It's like, gosh darn, I don't want to say anything to upset him already. I'm 8. Or what about this fucking fake fantasy? If you work hard and you set your mind to it, you can be anything you want. Anything? Yes, fake as hell. Like, really, Mom? Let's see. I work pretty hard. I jump through all society's hoops. But how many presidents were born in a trailer park? I'm guessing about 0. Well, I don't think I'm going to work my way out of this one that you set me up in. I try not to make my mom feel bad that we were poor. Not that she would listen to this anyway, I hope, but we were the kind of poor where we would watch shit like Roseanne, you remember that show? And we would look at it and be like, someday we will rise to the mountaintop of the poorest family ever depicted in American television history. If we work really hard, we stop buying so much Walmart soda and Lotto scratchers, we too will afford a dishwasher. You know what? Never had a dishwasher in the house I grew up in. There's still not one in there. And that's just one of the ways I like to make them feel bad. No, they did their best. Their best just sucked. I mean, some people suck. If you're in here and you're not married, that's fine. Maybe you're not marriage material. Not everybody has to do everything, is what I'm saying. Yeah, growing up poor, one thing I really, really got a lot of joy in was food. I love poor people food. I love junk food. I love white boxes that just say macaroni and cheese product. I love all of it. I'm still addicted to most of it. My mom did a good job. She did, like fusion cuisine, fusing stuff like macaroni and cheese product and chopped up hot dogs. I know a lot of people in here have enjoyed this feast. Of course, that's because we're real in here. Fuck that bougie ass Trader Joe's bullshit. I like Walmart hot dog, 67 cents for 12 disgusting logs of fucking sort of meat. That is my favorite meal. What are you having for Thanksgiving? Sort of turkey. That is what we'll be serving in the Grimes household. My favorite thing that she fused in food was cancer and diabetes. Thanks, Mom. Thank you for setting my immune system up for certain death if I get a cold, because I've never ingested a vitamin in my life. Except the ones they sprinkle on like Frosted Flakes and other sugar cereals. Those are fortified with vitamins, so I feel like that's like going to the gym. Took my vitamins today. Tony the Tiger gives me my vitamins. Captain Crunch. That's the captain I can get behind. I salute Captain Crunch. He's a pretty good captain. Shit does hurt the roof of your mouth, but that's why you gotta let it get a little soggy. There's like that sweet spot. Plus, if you're stoned from 6 a.m. on like me, everything tastes pretty good anyway. Because I live behind every comedian is somebody with a real job. So I get to spend my day being an artist, researching YouTube, memorizing the internet, spitting it out and shit like this. I love that internet. But just like hydration, wouldn't you give anything to go back and not do social media? Wouldn't the world be such a better fucking place if we were just like, you know what? Fuck this stuff. I mean, it is thank you, yes. It is the downfall. I know every time people are like, oh, cars are the downfall, radio, TV, newspapers. No, this shit, you can put a newspaper down. If you're like an 11-year-old kid, you are never disconnected. You got that shit all in school, all at night. just fucking everyone's better than you, which they probably are, and like their life rules, yours sucks. Social media, god damn, we fucked society with that. And then it wasn't that bad at first. Remember, it was like status update. I'm at the Gap shopping with Betsy or whatever. Now it's like obvious, like hell. Everything's like you going to hell if you do this. If anyone sees you do anything on social media that indicates you're not perfect, hell. It's a lot of standards there. That actually wasn't a joke. I went on a social media rant. I just think it's really bad, but that's enough preaching. That's the kind of lessons you will get in my call. That's more of a lecture series about the dangers of society, which I, of course, will save you from, for drugs and sex. Small price to pay for salvation. So sometimes in my burgeoning comedy career, I get to travel 2 or 3 hours to do comedy in a brewery for free, and I stay in a hotel, not to brag. And I find myself realizing like a lot of my heroes have died in hotels, and it doesn't really depress me. But it makes me like, and they usually do this thing. I don't know if you're a pervert like me, but it's called autoerotic asphyxiation. Anybody heard of this little method? If you someone wooed that shit, like woo, suicide and jerking off at the same time. But no, so basically, if you don't know what it is, you put a belt around your neck, you start jerking, and whichever happens first, you win. But unfortunately for a lot of them, they die first, and it's like I could see myself dying in a hotel too, but go with me here. Have you ever done this thing after a shower where you like put your leg up on something and you take the towel and you just go like this and floss it and floss. Oh, it feels so good. And I love doing this in hotels too, because I'm not gonna floss my asshole with a towel that I share with a human I live with. That seems a little bit disgusting. But since no one who works or stays in a hotel after me is a person, I can comfortably just shit all over their towels. And so I find myself just ass flossing quite a bit. And I'm like, with my luck, that's what's going to do it. That's how I'm going to die. Not in some cool way in a hotel, but in like, the cleaner will come in and be like, what the fuck? Call the cops. They're looking around. No gun, no blood. This dude seems to have died with just like a huge smile on his face and a towel way up his ass. Sad story. Sad story. Probably was on social media too much. All right, I'm John Grimes. Thanks, everybody. Thanks, buddy. Thanks, dude.